What if I persuaded my caucus to say I'm going to shut the government down, I'm going to not pay our bills unless I get my way? It's a politics of idiocy, of confrontation, of paralysis. Shutting down government over a policy difference is self-defeating. We can never hold American workers hostage.
While hard-working federal employees have been furloughed or being forced to work without pay. That's sick. That's a sick thing that Republicans are doing. So if the government shuts down, they've made the decision to shut the government down. And they can reopen it right now if they chose to, with a rule change in the Senate.
They don't have the votes to push their partisan bill through. Our offer is not a new policy. This is not negotiating in a shutdown.
They are demanding things like more free taxpayer-funded transgender surgeries, more free taxpayer health care for illegal aliens.
Will you accept anything less than a permanent extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies?
A one-year extension of the Affordable Care Act tax credits is not acceptable. It's a non-starter. It's a non-starter.
On Friday, we offered Republicans a compromise, a proposal that would extend the ACA tax credits for a year and open up the government at the same time. Leader Thune just needs to add a clean one-year extension of the ACA tax credits to the CR. That's not a negotiation.
In this shutdown fight, Democrats argue that they want to reverse what the One Big Beautiful Bill did.
Was saying that every Republican who's gone on TV the last, 9 hours or so has called this the Schumer shutdown. What do you think about that name?
Well, it's really the Trump shutdown. America is in the midst of a Republican-made health care crisis, worse than anything the American people have seen in decades.
Because of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits. The Republicans have enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Almost $1 trillion ripped away.
But we don't want fraud, waste, and abuse. And, we're cutting that. But they want to have illegal aliens come into our country and get massive health care at the cost to everybody else.
Democrats have continually refuted those claims.
Undocumented immigrants do not get federal health insurance premiums, period.
What they have done instead is to shut down the government because we won't give billions of dollars to health care funding for illegal aliens.
$192.8 billion of your hard-earned taxpayer dollars.
We cannot allow them to charge tremendous amounts of money for health care for people that aren't even citizens. And in many cases, they come in from prisons, jails, and mental institutions.
By law, undocumented immigrants are not eligible for Medicaid, but the Emergency Medicaid program uses Medicaid funding to pay back hospitals that provide life-saving care for people regardless of whether they have insurance, can pay, or their immigration status.
From Republicans about how the Democrats, want to, give free health care to illegal immigrants when we know that's not true.
Other states, like these ones here, also offer some form of health insurance for undocumented immigrants.
Why in the world should everyday Americans, working class Americans, hardworking American taxpayers accept anything less?
So when an illegal person comes in, a person who came into our country illegally, breaking the law, and they're coming into our country, and we just, as a country, cannot afford to take care of millions of people who have broken the law coming in.
Because what I'm not going to do is tolerate 4 million uninsured Americans because Donald Trump decided one day that he wants to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance.
Under federal law, undocumented immigrants are not eligible for federally funded health care. That includes Medicaid, health insurance for those with a low income or disability. It also includes the Affordable Care Act, which offers government-subsidized private health insurance.
Now take a look at some video Fox News was able to capture. You can see large groups of migrants crossing the Rio Grande River into El Paso, and they're making their way into the downtown area.
Yes, we had a border that was a disaster. They were coming in by the millions. I say 25 million people. You're saying less, but I say 25 million people came in illegally. And no system can take care of the health care of all of those people that came in.
Okay, the New York Times is now reporting that in the last 3 months, U.S. border authorities have encountered and captured illegal border crossers from 160 countries around the globe.
The Democratic position has been clear. Permanent extension. And let's go from there in terms of a negotiation.
Only one path out. It's a clean funding extension.
After so many failed votes, it's clear we need to try something different.
So again, as I said, you lost 3 votes. You may be able to lose at 8. The government will probably reopen. Will give Republicans enough votes. How confident are you that you won't lose more Democrats?
We have breaking news in Washington tonight where it appears a deal has been reached to end the government shutdown. Senators just took a procedural vote to advance legislation to reopen the government. The bill advanced by a vote of 60 to 40, just barely meeting the 60 votes needed to keep it moving.
Donald Trump and Republicans in the House and the Senate have failed the American people, and the American people know it.